All right, my loves, good morning. So, I had some thoughts about this whole midlife transition thing, and this is totally off the cuff, but I wanted to get this out and hear from all of you about this too. So, as we know, and maybe you're one of them, I was going to say, hopefully, you're one of them, in this midlife transition, in this rebuild, in the maybe even I've lost everything and now it's time to build something new. Okay. Like the old has crumbled, the old has dissolved, the old has been burnt down to the ground. And now it's time to build. Okay. And I'm talking like mid 40s, mid 50s, like that age group. And it's like, there's a part of you that's like, I'm tired. I'm tired and I don't want to do this and I give up, right? Because that's kind of where I was last night. I'm just like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of this. Okay. But here's a couple of things I know is number one, that we cannot do it alone. We cannot. And so ask the universe, ask God for that partner, for that tribe, for that business opportunity where now you're part of a team. We cannot do it alone, my friends. Okay. And God knows I'm like this ultra independent woman. But even yesterday, I was like, yeah, had done just way too much alone, was carrying too much of it on my own. Okay. And I realized that I could have chose something different. And so coming together with those aligned partnerships at this phase of our life is very important. So we have to be open to that and clearing out that which is not. Okay. So here's the thing is that many people, I would even say most people, have built something up until their mid 40s, right? Like their family, their business, their career, all of that. And now they're just kind of coasting. They've done, I don't even want to say the hard work because so many of us have also done the hard work, but they've built it and they're just like, still showing up for business, still showing up for their career, but they're not in a rebuild at all. Okay. They might be building new things, but they're coasting. Okay. That is much different energy than when you have to show up every day for the rebuild. You have to show up every day for this momentum. Okay. And so, I'm like around a bunch of retired people right now, and I see how some of them are living, and it's just not for me. Like, I feel grateful and blessed, number one, that I'm still here, and you guys should too, right? Because like we're still here for a reason and a purpose, and there's still work for us to do here. Obviously, otherwise we would not be here. And so knowing that, I have flipped this into, it is a huge blessing to be in a midlife transition and rebuild. It is a huge blessing to get nudged out of bed at 1:30 to come and sit at the computer and work. Okay. And I have to reframe that because there have been plenty of times, even as of late, where I'm like, I'm too tired. This is too much. I'm too tired. Right. But like, it's almost like we don't have that option and pressure forms diamonds. Got it? Okay. So let us remember that. And hold on. Oh, the other thing that I want to say that I've also seen people get extremely sick. There's like two scenarios, one for sure, where at the age of like 45, it's one of my acquaintances / friends, and it's her sister-in-law. She ended up in an assisted living facility. Like her body started failing her. Okay. I do not know the details around like illness, disease, any of that. But when I kind of felt into that situation or felt into that, I was like, it feels energetically like she gave up. Okay. And it was, maybe it was like 44. And I happened to be the exact same age at that time. And I remember telling myself, see, like if you choose to give up and not expand, okay, things maybe slowly or quickly start deteriorating. They start failing, my friends. Okay. If you're like, I'm just going to live the status quo and I'm going to keep numbing my energy and numbing my passion and numbing so that I can fit in with mediocrity or the common folk or what everyone else is doing, like that for a lot of people is a slow deterioration of the body, of the mind, like leading into death, right? And your energy dies and your libido dies and all this stuff dies. And it doesn't have to be that way. It just does not have to be that way. Again, I do not know this woman's situation, but I did know that like it gave me this fire under me to like show up every single day. Okay. And choose expansion. And there have been times where I haven't chosen expansion and went back into a comfort zone and went back into this little bubble and where fear took over. Okay. So I know that. And yet the universe is always going to push me to expansion. They're always going to push me to get my radiance out into the world, to get my magnetism out, to be aligned with the truth of who I am. Right? And even when it's like, I'm too tired for that today, what if we don't have an option? Because truly, some of us, maybe it's you, maybe it's someone you know, they don't have an option to stay in bed that day. Okay. Because if they do, everything gets delayed and they have to build this thing. They have to show up for this life because the contrast of that, you know, is not choosing life. It's again, deterioration. Okay. And the other thing that I wanted to say, okay, so if you're in a midlife rebuild, it's fucking hard. And I get that. And I see you and I hear you and I'm right there with you. And let's do a group around that because I think it's so incredibly important to be in group energy. We have to keep ourselves motivated and it's incredibly hard to stay motivated all the time, every single day. Incredibly hard. Okay. And don't forget to get up early and just have a tea or have a coffee and watch the sunrise. Okay. Because it's not about pushing and it's not about forcing, but it is about showing up. Have to. I've seen the consequence in my own life of not showing up. Okay. And then you're dependent on others and the money all stops and everything stops. Okay. And you gain weight and everything gets low and slow and all the things. Okay. And we don't want that. Most of you don't want that. Okay. So it's worth showing up to keep the energy going. But here's the other thing. When you get this magnetic energy, okay, you're looking good, you're vibrant, your energy is so infectious, you are going to attract, I'm going to say everything and everyone. And in those moments, discernment is so crucial because maybe you've been in a low depressed state and all of a sudden you're like radiating and you go out into the world and you're like, I want to talk to everyone and anyone. And that's great. But that is going to drain your energy. People are going to attach to you and start draining your energy. And where you end up is back in the low depressed state. We're not doing that, my friends. I want this to be like on the forefront of your mind, okay? Because you have to protect your magnetism. You have to protect your beauty. You have to protect your energy. Now, that doesn't mean close off from the world at all. It means protect it from the places, the spaces, the people where it gets drained, okay? Allow yourself to pour back into you. Allow your energy field to expand. And to create then with that expanded energy, that which truly lights your fire. Because as you know, when you're creating or doing the work that you're truly passionate about, you don't leak energy, you get more energy from it. Just like when I come on and do these videos, like I am flying high right now in this moment. And then afterwards, I can go on and keep the energy going, channel it into something else. Okay. So discernment. Okay. So it's important to get really magnetic, because when you're magnetic, everything that you desire is attracted to you. You're not chasing, you're not forcing, you're not efforting like 100 times. No, you're showing up to create that magnetism and that radiance, the truth of who you are, without letting distortions or projections or anything in your field funking it up. Okay. You're showing up to do your workouts. You're showing up to do the nutrition, your non-negotiables, like, because that's when you feel your best. That's when you're most magnetic. You're doing the saunas, all the things. Okay. Looking, feeling your best. And that is when you are going to attract that which is truly meant for you. The partner, the opportunity, the business, the gifts, the blessings, all of that. Okay, so it's really important to allow yourself to go there, to show up for it, and then to protect it. Got it? Okay, so I would love to hear from you. Who else is in a midlife rebuild? Okay, maybe some people are like, oh my God, thank God. Just like I hear people all the time who've been married 47 years. I heard this the other day. Thank God I don't have to be out in the dating scene right now. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of crazy out there, right? But you can also flip it and say, thank God I am. Thank God I get to have all these amazing experiences and meet all these different people and travel. And thank God I get to. And thank God I'm not stuck in a stagnant 47-year marriage. Literally. Okay. Not all of them are stagnant, but some of them definitely are, my loves. Okay. I'm not against the sanctity of marriage, the sanctuary of marriage, not at all. But I am definitely for partnership. Okay. That does not have to be marriage. That can be a spoken, written thing between two people, because you just know, because you're just synced up. Anyway, not that you needed to know all that about what my beliefs are, but there you have it, my friends. Midlife rebuild. Huge blessing. Huge blessing. Okay. Show up for it. You're still here because God, the universe, still wants you here. Still got work to do. What is that for you? What are you creating today? And are you showing up to do the things that lead, that help magnify your radiance, your beauty, your magnetism, all of that? And last question, do you want a group for the midlife rebuild? Should we form something for that? And maybe even, I want to say, go even harder for the next like 6 weeks. Let me know. All right, my loves, much love, many blessings. Thank you so much for being here. Questions, comments, insights below, and I will see you again very soon.